Most people think the king is the most useless piece on the board. It can only move one square at a time and constantly needs protection. But the game I'm about to show you will not only leave you speechless, but also reveal to you the true power of the king. Our protagonist playing with the white pieces is Grandmaster Nigel Short. His opponent is Jan Timman, another very strong Grandmaster. The game starts out with e4, and black responds with knight f6 to Alekhine's defense. He allows his knight to be kicked around in the center, but fights back with d6. White solidifies in the center with knight f3, although c4 is a nice alternative to expand in the center and also attack the knight. Black now plays g6, preparing bishop g7. More popular these days is simply chopping off the pawn in the center. Bishop c4 attacks the knight, forcing it to retreat, where it attacks the bishop, forcing that also to retreat. Black now plays bishop g7, providing pressure to the center. And now white plays the rare but playable queen e2, simply defending this e5 pawn, and also staring down the black king on the other side of the board. Black develops and white castles. Bishop g4 here for black looks good because of the pin and the threat of knight takes d4. However, if bishop g4 were to happen, there would be bishop takes f7 check, knight g5 check, and then you would win back the bishop, be up a pawn with the threat of knight d6, winning the game on the spot. So instead, black castles, protecting the f7 pawn with his rook, and now bishop g4 is a very real possibility. So white plays h3, a prophylactic move, stopping such a move. Black plays a5, attempting to trap the bishop with a4. White stops that with a4. Black now chops in the center and plays knight d4. Usually when you don't have a lot of space, you want to trade pieces, and that's exactly what black does. Now white plays rook e1, protecting the e5 pawn. e6 is black's next move, which is just an ugly move because it blocks in your light square bishop and also creates a weak square on f6. Knight d2 by white attempts to go to f3, which is exactly what white does, forcing the queen to c5. Queen e4 centralizes the queen and also plans a rotation to the king side. b4 by black offers a trade of queens to hopefully minimize the counterplay. White doesn't fall for this and interferes with the connection with bishop c4. Knight b6, black is hoping for the bishop to retreat, but white plays a very strong b3, and it looks like white just has a horrible pawn structure. However, white has stopped the counterplay long enough to create an attack of his own. Rook e8 by black, maybe bishop d7, bishop c6 in the future, but in sight of the bishop d7 move, white plays rook d1, controlling the entire d-file. Queen c5 by black is not clear what he's trying to do, but a plan might be queen c6, hoping to trade off the queens. Queen h4, white follows suit with his plans and rotates his queen to the king side. b6 by black attempts bishop b7 and gets some counterplay on this very strong diagonal. However, white can gain tempo on the queen with bishop e3 and then play bishop h6. You might ask, why didn't white play bishop h6 first? It's because black can trade and play queen f8, and this is simply an equal position. So after queen c6, bishop h6, black is forced to trap in his own bishop on h8 to defend the dark squares, which was a weakness created by g6 on the fourth move. Rook d8 infiltrates on the back rank, and bishop b7 creates a nice little x-ray, protecting the rook on e8, but simultaneously threatening to win the rook on d8. So rook d1 defends, and bishop g7 is a clever little move, threatening to take on h6, where the queen would be deflected from the protection of this rook, where black would eventually win it. Rook 8 d7 protects the rook, and also threatens to capture this bishop, and go queen f6 check, queen f7, and queen h7 mate. So black plays rook f8, protecting the f7 pawn. White trades, and goes rook d4, bringing another attacker in the game. rook a e8, stopping any queen e7 ideas, but queen f6 comes, forcing black to the back rank. H4 by white, attempting h5. This is a very common maneuver by many computers these days, like AlphaZero or Leela. And h5 by black stops this. And in this position, you might notice that it looks like white is out of options, because if you move this knight here, then you will get checkmated on g2. So how can white win the game on the spot? The next move is the whole reason why this game got featured in a Zork Chess video 33 years later. The silent but deadly king h2. White has a plan, and black is helpless in stopping it. White bravely marches his king up the board. After king g5, black resigned in sight of king h6 and queen g2 checkmate. If you want to stop king h6 and go king h7, then there's queen takes g6. Can't take because of the pin. King h8, queen h6, king g8, and now king f6 with unstoppable mate on g7. An absolutely incredible game played by Nigel Short. Just had to showcase such an instructional game in a video. If you want to see more videos like this, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on any future videos like these.